G'day, mate, and welcome to, what is it, Mojo?
The Friday Facts.
Oh, God. You ruined an intro. It's been like a year. We're out of practice. Okay. Welcome to Friday Facts.
Friday Facts?
That's the one. That's the one.
Hey,
All right. Friday Facts.
Disappoint.
Friday Facts number 373. Factorio Space Age, which we finally get details of the long-awaited expansion. That's now a
history of expansion.
Yeah, there's now, I'm pretty sure they confirm it here at DLC, not an expansion. Things have changed. Yes. So, yeah, long time no see. Today we're going to talk about expansion, which is called Factorio Space Age. And we get a pretty graphic, because everything sells better with graphics. Yes, there is a chunk of rock flying through space. Confirmed.
And it's being grabbed by grabby arms.
Yeah.
Being shot by turrets.
Yep, stolen straight from the Matrix, or from Spider-Man, from Dr. Ock, or what was the third one?
What was it? It was the Sentinels, the Doctor, and I've forgotten now.
The other one. Okay. So, some important bits from this little graphic. We obviously have the grabby arms grabbing iron, and we're definitely making iron, ammo, yellow ammo right here in the middle, which we're feeding the guns.
Ammo to shoot more rocks.
I don't know whether they're shooting rocks, they're shooting things off the screen.
And they're shooting something, that's for sure.
Yeah, I thought they were shooting rocks to break them into smaller parts. Oh no, there was one on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay, they're definitely shooting bigger rocks to make them smaller rocks. Cool. So we need to shoot the rocks, we need to get solar power, good luck in deep space, to run our machines, to grab our stuff, which we need to grind up into a grinding machine, because everybody likes a good shredder, to make our ammo, to also feed iron into the chem plant on the left, which is making red fuel, and
It's making something.
blue stuff into the chem plants on the right that's making blue fuel. Yeah. Also, some stuff's getting kicked out the back, which I think's copper. I think it's copper on the left.
Kind of waste product that you don't want.
And I'm assuming on the right it's both iron and copper, because that's something using the blue stuff. Yes. But we have a mystery white building that, funnily enough, has an inserter linked to a gun that fires at the back. That's when you're being chased by the cops, obviously.
Yes.
Yep.
I actually did check just before, so I thought it looked a little out of place. That is a placeholder graphics. It was confirmed on
white thing in the middle.
Yes, that's so it will look something like that. That's just a placeholder.
That's not final graphics. Okay.
Yes, that's not final.
Okay, well, it's not animated, so I sort of assumed it was, a little out of place. Yeah. So, what is Factorio Space Age? Factorio Space Age continues the player's journey after launching rockets to space, discovers new worlds with unique challenges, exploits the novel resources for advanced technology gains, manage your fleet of interplanetary space platforms. Is a fleet worth? Well, there you go.
Fleet? I didn't even notice that before.
No, I didn't either. This is why we get to reread it 3 times. Vanilla Factorio ends by launching the rocket into space. Always expected to be quite obvious what we were going to do next. Honestly, the space platform related gameplay was actually planned a long time ago. Shown a little bit in the Friday Facts 74, we kind of did a similar story with the Spidertron. Concept was teased for the first time in Friday Facts 120, just to be quietly abandoned and then revived 4 years later. So, the Spidertron. Anybody who's been a long-term Factorio player knows all about the original Spidertron graphics with the 8 inserter legs, which was awesome. I really wish we could get back.
and the grey rectangle in the middle.
Yeah, that was a placeholder. It was fine, but
that was one of the first FFFs that I ever came across when I started following them.
When was this?
Would have been
2016, early 2016. Yeah, it's a long time ago. But yes, a lot of old school Factorio players will have seen this prior to Spidertrons being a real thing. Very, very awesome. And as for Friday Facts 74, that is so far back in the history that I don't think anybody's going to remember this space platform.
I do remember seeing it back then. Well, not back then, but going back through the FFFs, because they did mention space platforms a few times, I think, subsequently, and refer back to it.
Yeah, they have.
It sort of disappeared.
Yeah. Space has always been in the Woob's great plans for Factorio. It just never really got around to happening until, well, they released 1.0 after how many years, Mojo? 7, 8, 10, 11, 12.
25.
Copyright, 15 to 23. Yeah, but they started before 15.
Yeah, it all goes back to 2013.
Yeah. Yeah, many years. They finally got to 1.0, and we continue with the Friday Facts because they said, yes, exactly. We got to 1.0 and we decided that's enough. We'll just release there and then we'll look at the expansion. Yes. So, as you might know, the name Woob is an abbreviation of, I can't pronounce that.
Schiskobensia.
Sure. This means something like everything will be done eventually. We didn't abandon the plan. We just realized it would be way too ambitious to try and fit it into the 1.0 release. So we eventually just postponed the expansion. In retrospect, it was clearly a good idea. Yeah, because it took 8 years or something, 9, 12, 15 years to get to
17.
Yeah, to get to 1.0 release. When everybody agrees that like version 16-ish, you probably could have gone, yeah, that's 1.0. We'll call it there. Yeah, not much was added for 17 and 18. Lots of graphic rework and stuff. And infinite tech.
Homogenizing graphics in consistency and preparing for 1.0, that was.
Yeah, there wasn't...
Some combat stuff, actually.
I think there was a little bit of combat stuff. The Flamer's got a nerf.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, spin and win failed. The tank
had failed for a while.
The tank had its
toned down for a while.
Flamer changed, and there was something else with combat that just got nerfed to hell.
Yeah, I can't think of what it was. Something got hit hard.
The tank turret no longer has any of the turret bonuses. That was it. Because its machine gun used to be way powerful than the tank shells. And yeah, that got nerfed to hell. So yes. So the main structure, instead of sending one rocket to space, you have to send many because you need them to transport materials to a big space platform in orbit. The rocket's cheaper in the space age. Do not drag on forever, but you're still expected to build bigger in preparation of what's to come. Space platform is used on their own to generate space science, but mainly they're eventually used to travel distant planets for automated interplanetary logistics. So to go with the approach of having a small number of predefined planets, which represent your progression through the game. The expansion contains 4 additional planets, each which has its own unique theme, resource challenges, and gameplay mechanics. Most also have different military targets. New friends.
Very interesting.
New friends
to bring democracy to.
To impart friendship pellets upon. Yes. Every planet leads to production of specific science packs and its technologies. In order for you to exploit these planets is an impactful strategic choice. So we have a brown planet, a greenish planet, a Marsy planet, which leads to a
fiery planet.
Marsy planet, which leads to a moony planet. Sure.
But they also lead to 3 new science packs.
Yeah, purple science, the other green science, and orange science.
Magenta science, acid science, and lava science.
Sure.
Orange juice science.
Sure. It's gonna be orange. It's gonna be probably
Grape, lime, and orange. There we go.
What?
Grape, lime, and orange.
Oh.
The first one isn't quite grape, is it? It's more like a. It's not strawberry, or maybe a
watermelon.
raspberry.
Watermelon.
Oh yeah, watermelon.
Watermelon, lime, and orange.
Yeah.
There we go. 3 science packs have been named. This is officially the naming ceremony. Friday Facts 373. Cool, we've ruined it already. Right. Which means that very last science pack, you need to have, what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
Yeah, so it'd be, yeah.
Yeah, who's got a lab design that takes in 9 science packs, please?
30 science challenges entered the chat.
Yeah, since we have a lot of new challenges, we also had to balance the set of rewards you get for each stage of the game. We have a set of cool new things for the expansion. The player is quite omnipotent. There we go. At the end of the vanilla playthrough, so we had to make some tough decisions. Since the goal was to make the overall expansion experience as good as possible, had to rebalance the tech tree. That means with Space Age Enable, some of the items available in vanilla are locked later on some planets. This specifically applies to artillery, cliff explosives, Oh my god. Spidertron, best tier is modules and some personal equipment upgrades. Based on testing, these changes have made the choice of where and when to go even more meaningful. On the other hand, space will be available sooner, and there'll be some nice additions directly on Narvis, the vanilla planet. This implies that technically you just take your vanilla base, activate the expansion, continue playing. Best way to experience will be play space age from start to finish. Thoughts, Mojo?
So I was always wondering. Well, there's actually quite a bit to unpack here. I was always wondering if we just take my existing 2016 base, which I actually haven't opened up in a while, and then just put the expansion on top of it. But yeah, it sounds like it's sort of suggesting that maybe a full playthrough is a better way to go. The second thing is, I don't know how I'm going to live without the top tier of modules straight away. I mean, Spidertron can live without that, but the best modules and definitely the cliff explosives. Having to go into space to get those, ooh, there's a little bit of a challenge.
Well, look. At least nuclear weapons blow up cliffs now.
That is true.
So, assuming we still get nukes, which I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be no.
It's probably on a planet.
Yeah, probably on the green planet, just to,
planet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, funnily enough, I just noticed that the science packs, the listing order for that last moon planet, it's orange, then watermelon, then lime. Because you got to remember, like, high tech is better than production science. I.e., yellow is better than purple, and that's the way it's ordered. So it looks like green's the best one, which is probably going to be where the nukes are hidden. Nukes are hidden, yeah. So no cliff explosives, which I gotta be honest.
We can turn off cliffs at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. Most people turn on cliffs for their first playthrough because they got no idea, and then turn it off and never, ever, ever turn it on again. Because it's just annoying. It does add to the game, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't add to the game in enough of an impactful way that it removes the frustration of having cliffs. Yeah. As for best tier modules, look, best tier modules are really a late game thing. It could come and go. Spidertron, again, a late game thing.
You can live without Spidertron.
Well, I'm wondering if like Power Armor Mark 2, because that's another thing that experienced players will skip Power Armor Mark 1. Because Mark 2 is just that little bit extra step. And sure, you can't get it out properly, but you can at least have it. So that's another one I'm not sure on.
I suppose the argument could be made that it does properly divide the gap between Mark 1 and Mark 2, because in the base game, as you say, that, or as we all know, that the gap is pretty small.
It is. It's like 1 or 2 researchers. So
it doesn't actually need tier 3 modules anymore, doesn't it?
No, it's blue circuit something and something.
So you don't even need the module planet to get it anyway in the
correct
recipe, assuming the recipes don't change.
No, I have a feeling many recipes are going to change.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, one overall theme that I'm getting from it is Oxygen not included, spaced out.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
play like that.
For those of you who don't know, Oxygen Not Included is a colony management game with very, very stupid clones.
Oh boy, they are. Yes, they are. They are clone. Well, they're duplicants, which implies that they're clones.
Yes. And the base game had some rockets, but you didn't really actually do anything with the rockets. They just launched off space, came back with resources. In the expansion, you actually went and colonized other planets, and yeah, I'm getting the same feeling now that you mention it. Yes.
Yeah, it's feeling like you'd be building like an Oni spaced out base. Well, I say base, but it's bases.
Yeah, bases, yes. So, version 2.0 is not just about expansion. See, this is the point. It's version 2.0 now. It's no longer an expansion. It's no longer a DLC. It's a 2.0. Yeah. We declared the content would be technically a mod taking advantage of the updated engine. That means a lot of the improvements will be for all players, regardless of them having the expansion or not. Examples of things will be in the 2.0 update are the ability to control train systems better blueprint handling.
I hope that's train lines.
Oh, being able to say, look, I want a train line to go A to B to C to D, and I just want to add 10 trains on it. And these are my 10 trains, and if I need to add an E station, just all 10 trains get the exact same orders.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, Yeah, it's one of those things. As the game has progressed, as people have got more and more comfortable with trains, because going back 5 years, lots of people go look at trains. Even now, people are just not touching trains. They're too complicated. But more players are more experienced, and yes, notice that Factorio is definitely lacking a little bit when it comes to train management. Yes. So
To be fair, I ran into that problem like back in version 13 and 14. Well, actually, there was two problems, but one of them was fixed. The other one was you couldn't actually open the train window because the game would just die.
yeah, well, that was fixed.
Yeah, that was fortunately fixed.
Because every little train was its own simulation of the game. Every little train window.
The game 200 times.
Yep.
and their test only did like 10 or 20 trains, not 200 or 400 trains.
Yeah. So better flying robot behavior and many more. That's the one I'm curious about.
Flying robot behavior is an interesting one.
Maybe they're going to stop flying over no man's land, directly over biters. Maybe they've got that level of intelligence.
Or at least not fly. Like if you have a transcontinental bot network, it doesn't draw the shortest path and then have to limp home to get a charge.
Yeah, maybe. But I guess we're going to find out future Friday facts. So the good news and the bad news. Let's start with probably the bad news. Since we know where we are and what is the goal, we need to start. We can start with an approximate date of releasing the expansion, which is planned to be about a year from now. It's still a long time, but at least it's getting more specific. So, Mojo, can we talk about specifics?
Specifics?
Yep. So specifically, in Friday Facts number 367, which was in Feb of 22, they laid out their 7-step plan, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. And they said specifically, we're in stage 4. We can start play testing from start to finish.
Yes, they did. They were play testing and...
No, I hadn't got to play testing yet, but they were in step 4. They were in step 4. And their release strategy was to keep updating the game, which they've been doing. And we will release 1.2 with a big update to the base game. Yep. And the expansion will be part of that. It's not 1.2 anymore. It's now version 2.
Yeah, that was what I was saying before. It's become 1.2 has become 2.0.
Yep. The expansion's still a mod, blah, 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 blah. And this is when we got our first little treat of the... The graphic, the bug, the brain thing, yes.
The new friend to bring democracy to.
Yes. So then in Friday Facts number 370, being 6 months later, they did mention that they were... They don't have any specific details. So they've been doing play testing. They spent 5 full days with 12 people, played as a LAN. They don't have any specific details to share, but the 1.2/2.0 expansion won't be ready sooner than a year from now. Once the estimation gets reasonably close, we'll start dropping some Friday Facts. That was in the 9th month.
That was 11 months ago.
Yeah. So according to the Friday Facts, it should be out next month.
Oh, actually, if you go back to the specifics, they only say that they'll release more information.
It won't be ready sooner than a year ago. So the first expected release date was a month from now. Is that more accurate? Are we happy with that?
That's a better way to phrase it.
Okay.
So the earliest possible date is September of 2023.
So we're going with Elon Musk release schedules and timelines.
But they will start dropping FFFs as
they start getting closer. Yeah. They continue in the next one. They're saying it's 12 months away, and in 367, being a year and a half ago, they were in stage 4, and now they're at the end of stage 5. Even though a year ago they were in stage 5, and they've started working on stage 6.
It's starting at stage 5, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, they're at the end of stage 5. They're in the playtest. They're doing the playtests. In stage 5, a year ago. Yep.
It's the first pass tweaking.
Yeah. The stages. Is that in 3? No, it's in the old one, which I have put aside, haven't I? Cool.
So stage 5 was UI improvements, train improvements, and polish.
Yeah, so it was tweaking, really looking at the gameplay after people have had a chance to play through it and decide what needs to stay, what needs to change, what needs to be scrapped before they get into stage 6 being beta testing. So they're in some part of step 6 already. So there are beta testers out there. So if you find a friend of yours who's playing Factorio and won't tell you what mod pack he's playing, go over to his house and insist that you see what mod pack he's playing. That's my suggestion, because he's probably part of the beta test. So it's been playable from start to finish for more than a year. Meme was also made several improvement iterations based on the playthrough behind us. 3 times of testing, just playing the game on our own and contemplating how it feels. Offers LAN party, which is also a great way to test multiplayer. Individual testers would have had a few outside testers who played it from start to finish and gave us detailed feedback. Feedback has led us to different types of changes. For example, 2 planets were too repetitive and similar to Narvis, and we've had to do a complete overhaul to make them more different. The game is a little bit too slow and grindy, so we sped things up. It doesn't mean dumbing it down. The goal was to be able to finish in a non-speedrun mode in less than 80 hours for an experienced player. We're trying to keep the mechanics and just cut down on the recipe counts and costs, which brings me to speedrunners. We're down to like 2 hours for the whole game, base game.
Is it sub 2 hours yet?
Or
is it just back down to just above?
I have no idea, and I think it's 2 hours for maybe it's more than a rocket now. I don't know. I don't fully follow exactly what the speedrunners are up to. I think it's less than 2 hours for the launching a rocket.
Yeah, the any percent.
Yeah, and I think it's 2 hours and a bit for 100%. I don't know. They're getting amazingly fast for getting every achievement at once.
So there's something hilariously ironic is I remember back in 2016, Andy was just pushing and pushing to get below, I think it was 2.5 hours. At one point, he was saying it was not possible. And then he got to 2 hours 17, and then it just kept on falling. And they got it sub 2 hours again. And then the recipe science update hit. And then it was back to like 4 hours.
Well, any percent is 1 hour and 22 minutes.
1 hour 22.
And 4.5 hours for 100% of the game, which is
100%.
For those of you who haven't looked up the achievements, okay, it means that you need to start the game with no handcrafting until you launch a rocket. That's very, very important. And then you also need to get 20 million green circuits within 4.5 hours. Also, you need to get killed by a train. No, you need to build a train within 90 minutes as well.
In 90 minutes?
Yeah.
And then be killed by it?
Yeah. You can do that part at any stage, but you need to be killed by the train at some stage, get the 20 million green circuits, and complete... Oh, you can't handcraft until you've launched the rocket. Yeah. And you need biters on.
One for 100% is brutal.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah.
I remember those taking 18 hours. Those used to be a marathon, the 100%.
They used to be over a day.
The very first ones were over a day. They did start creeping down to 15 to 18 hours for the fastest ones.
Yeah, but they kept hitting UPS limits. Anyway, so they've improved many UIs related to the new and sometimes old parts of the game many times. I don't remember what parts of the game are still old at this point. I can't think of anything. The power armor interface, no, that's been updated.
Yeah, that's been updated.
The train menu's been updated. The bonuses tab, that hasn't been touched. There you go. I thought of something. That means
probably the least looked at element. And the train GUI?
No, that's been updated.
It's been updated, but I don't look at it.
Yeah, it's true. You just find the train you want on the map and just click on it.
Yeah, the map view thing kind of made most of those menus redundant.
Yeah. That means we have something we're happy with, pretty stable, and don't expect any further brutal changes to come. We've had a relatively stable list of tasks that to be finished for both programmers and us. Makes us feel confident we can release a polished product in about a year. So the good news, hopefully good news for now, we're going to stop with the embargo on the expansion content that will be published in Friday Facts every week, all about different aspects of the expansion until release. We will mostly show what we've done or what we're working on, also looking forward to feedback from the community, which has proved useful so many times. With the quantity of things we've done, I'm confident we won't run out of topics till release. So I am Mojo. It's happened before, It'll happen again. I want your prediction. how many Friday facts we get in before the community gets outraged over, the blueprint window that was going to be the blueprint library when that first got proposed. Massive community outrage, and it went through a full redesign, as did the inventory interface. That went through a full redesign. How many weeks are we going to be in before the community has outrage over a proposed change that is going to require a full redesign?
Oh, see, knowing Reddit, the Reddit types, I don't know if they can make it past 1.
Oh, God. Remind me not to post this video on Reddit. Okay, so I think it's going to be about 10. I think about 10. We'll get about 10 weeks in of all excitement and thrills, and then this will be a new interface, and people will go, oh boy, that's bad. And these are all the reasons it's bad, which is what happened with both the UI and also the blueprint interface, because they had some great ideas, but it was bad.
I think it just needs to hit something that, as soon as it hits something that's particularly divisive, so then most of them will be
beacons.
Shiny graphics will be, oh yeah, that's great.
Beacons.
Great.
Beacons were another one.
That's a divisive one. And a more serious number is 4. I give it 4.
The beacons with the original butthole.
Yes, the sphincter.
Yes.
Sphinctons. I haven't used that term in a while.
Yes. Okay, that brings us on to the final part of the Friday Facts, and the good old Factorio answer. There's a mod for that. A lot of people are going to make comparisons between the Space Age expansion and the Space Exploration mod, which I've played. Mojo's played pretty much every Factorio.
Oh, I haven't played.
Oh, really?
I don't hate myself, so I don't play it.
Mojo hates himself, and he's going to be playing Space Exploration. You should follow him on Twitch. Link is down in the description. He's going to be playing Space Exploration between now and 1.0 releasing in 3.5 years on February 29th. So I've worked on the
get desynced and K2.
Yeah. You can do K2 and Space Exploration together. There you go. Problem solved.
Oh yeah, I did actually play it briefly with you and Thingy and Thingy McThing.
Oh, see, there you go. He's played a little bit. He's going to play it more.
I actually played it.
Yeah. He's going to play it properly, start to end.
Bold Viking set the distance between planets to something stupid.
Yeah, we played multiplayer with us all in the same galaxy. The problem is we're all on opposite ends of the galaxy. Yeah.
That's right. And so, it took like...
Yeah, a long time to get anything done.
Actually travel.
Yeah. So, Arendelle has worked on the game design both. On Space Age, I made the first Space plus Planets prototype builds, plus I've been involved on most of the gameplay discussions since. On Space Exploration, well, it's my mod, I made it. I think that makes me the most qualified to talk about how these two things are very different from the ground up. Sure, there's some overlap in the broader topics. You go to space, you visit planets, but these similarities end up being fairly superficial when all the decisions are along the way made with different design goals. So, target audience. Factorio Space Exploration is targeted as a small set of challenge seekers. It's not for everybody by design. Space Age is targeted at all Factorio players with a better approachability in mind. I can agree to that one. As I've played...
I'll be all about that one.
Well, I've played SpaceX 2-3 times. And it's not easy. It's very, very complicated. It is a game mode. You're going to bring your computer to its knees because you're running not a factory, but 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 of them all at the same time.
Well, you're going to build a factory and then a corona mass ejection is going to happen, and then you're going to rebuild your factory.
No, you put up protection against that, Mojo. Sheesh.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, and the artillery, there's artillery. The meteorites that come crashing down into the middle of your base when you're not expecting them, and you put up guns against to protect against those, but you end up building several factories on several planets. So game length. Space Exploration is long form of adventure designed for players to gradually uncover more interconnected challenges over 150 to 500 hours or more, which I'd agree with. Space Age challenges are more streamlined and self-contained for a faster pace of 60 to 100 hours, rough estimate. Space Exploration challenges ramp up to a very high difficulty towards the end. Some of the last challenges cannot be automated without a set of arithmetic combinators, which I did without combinators, because I'm not doing smarts. So there's no expect all players will be able to complete it. Space Age has a lot of different challenges, but never get too extreme, and the usage of combinators is still quite lightweight. We're going to do it without combinators, right, Mojo?
Why use a combinator when you can use a hammer?
Exactly. So expect most players will be able to complete it. Engine support. There are so many things that Space Exploration just cannot do because it's mod. Space Age has a very different capability because the game engine can be made to support it. Large parts of the expansion are focused on game mechanics that just aren't possible otherwise, so gameplay will be unique and refreshing even if you're a space exploration veteran. There are many more differences that will become apparent when we look at the individual features of the expansion in upcoming Friday Facts. And then, of course, you can go discuss on the forums, discuss on Reddit, or subscribe by email. And yes. So, any more thoughts you want to add, Mojo?
I was actually thinking that the difference between Space Age and space exploration is like the difference between the Minecraft mod that I talk about the most, Greg Tech and Mechanism. That's sort of the difference it sounds like.
Okay,
Between
but
Giant Ball Lake and something that's fun.
they're both automation mods for
Yes,
Minecraft. See,
Minecraft.
I don't play Minecraft, so I wouldn't have a clue. Yes. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens. Factorio has stolen enough hours of my time that I'm going to get the expansion no matter what. The expansion, the DLC, the Factorio 2.0, whatever they happen to call it.
1.2?
Yeah, 1.2, sure. I'm going to get it. I'm going to play it. I'm interested, but they are right. A lot of people are going to say it. It's been done. Space exploration has been done very, very well for a very, very long time. Don't get me wrong, the engine being built for it means that things look a lot better. Like, the engines in this video look awesome. The grinders could probably do with a little bit of a polish, but then again, the grinders also look better than they do in space exploration. Space exploration, although you can load in any art asset you want, they just don't look that good. Just on a,
They just don't match the style.
They match the style of space exploration, which is not quite the style of base Factorio. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm going to be curious for the next Friday Facts, which means you should click subscribe because, you could go read the Friday Facts or you could listen to me and Mojo get completely sidetracked.
We could just ramble about it for an hour.
About the past history of the many, many, many Friday Facts that we've read previously. Anyway, I think this is where we're going to call it. Right, Mojo?
Yeah, I can't throw any more tangents in. And
Okay.
now they're at the bottom.
Okay, cool. That's it. We're going to call it here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the very next video. All right, bye.
Bye.